y'all. So wow, my stomach is growling and I need to eat. Anyway, so I just finished this series on Netflix called She's Gotta Have It. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of inspired. It's written and directed by Spike Lee. And I'm not gonna lie, I have my reservations about this series because Spike Lee's work in the past has not been my favorite. But it's decent, you know, it's pretty cool. And it was based off a movie in the past that he was in. So, I mean, I guess that's where his inspiration came from, wanting to make it a series and make it this modern day type of vibe. It is located, well, it's set in New York, obviously, and has this black aesthetic, obviously. This natural type of vibe, artistic, you know, feminist type of situations going on. And movies like that need to be executed to the max. Otherwise, they can be corny to me because everybody wants to make things like that. Like, everyone wants to have that type of aesthetic because that's what's in, you know. And I love it. I love that is exaggerated, you know, but there has to be a legit story, you know. It can't focus so much on the aesthetic of black people and more so like some real stuff, you know what I'm saying? But this is pretty cool. So you have Nola Darling, and she is free-spirited, open artist, excellent painter, struggling artist, I guess you can say. All artists, I guess, are struggling. Living in New York, and basically it's about her finding herself, you know, being herself and trying to find things that fit her and trying to succeed in this world as an artist and trying with still like having her sanity at the same time. And if you're an artist, you know, regardless if you paint or if you write, if you sing, dance, any form of art, music, you know that your sanity will be lost sometimes. Like, you know that you will lose your mind putting yourself out there and putting your heart onto your work all the time. You will lose it. You go crazy. So what makes this story very interesting is not only does she have one boo, no, not just one, not two, but three. She has three niggas, okay, and they are all like in love with her, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, she is my hero because you know, we out here trying to find one guy to love, and she's like, oh no, I'm trying to have fun and I'm gonna explore and I'm gonna express myself and I'm gonna see who is for me of these three people. And I love it. Like, she's young, do what you gotta do. I probably wouldn't be able to juggle all of that, so that's not for me, but that's why she is a hero. But so you have Jamie. He is the businessman. He's the gentleman, the older guy. Like, he gives you daddy vibes, professional, mature, rich, all of that. But the man has a wife and a child, but it's complicated. Then you have Greer, who is the suave, debonair, light-skinned, really into himself type of guy. He does photography. I don't necessarily want to call him arrogant, but he does give you that feel. But it's because, I mean, he has a reason to be, you know, everybody loves him. That's just how it is. And then you have Oh, he speaks in French. It's real cute. Then you have Mars, who is, he's the goofy one. He's the playful one. He's like the one that makes Nola laugh the most. Like, she can be herself, her complete self around him, and they can like joke, and he's, you know. So as you see, all three of them are different. They're all different. And I immediately got my assumption that these are just all the things that she wants to be more like. Okay, that gets revealed later on in the story, but that was as clear as day to me, especially when you have an artist who's trying to find herself. Of course she's gonna have different people in her life that reflect the things that she admires, you know, obviously. So the story kicks off like the rising action of this series is when she gets assaulted on her way home at night, and a guy is like trying to talk to her and she's not interested, and he grabs her up and, you know, is calling her all these names, and she runs. That's the rising action, because she's fired up and she develops this street artist character who puts these posters up. My name is not sweetheart. My name is not B-word. My name is not all of these things. So that's like her alter ego, this passionate about herself type of woman, but no one really knows about that except for Mars. Throughout the series, it's basically her way of trying to like figure out this life thing, you know, figure out this art thing, figure out herself, like I said before. And after that incident, she goes to a therapist, and, you know, another typical thing. Like, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love Black movies, okay? Like, I love the aesthetic. I love the vibe. There's something about, like, Black love and Black art that I live for. But it's all kind of the same. You know, the only thing that really sets this apart is the fact that she got 3 niggas. So that's what I want to talk about, the fact that she got 3 men. I do suggest that you watch the series, though. It's very entertaining. It's interesting. It's fun being this artist. She has a lot of jobs, a lot of little hustles, things like that. She has parents that are artists. Like, then she gets this job as a art teacher at a school. And there's this little girl that's in there. I just heard something in my house, and I don't like it. Right, anyway, so there's this girl who I've seen her in another like Netflix original. I think it's called something. I'm gonna put that in there, but it's in there, and I'll probably do a review on that too. But I've seen this little girl has been in something as well, and she played like the same role, like this girl who is not very fortunate but has like this amazing artistic perception. You see, again, it's like it's always the same thing. Like this woman, this artist, you know, she's struggling herself, and then she finds this kid who, oh my gosh, she reminds her of her. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's pretty typical. It's a typical series, you know? But she finds, you know, this girl, and the girl paints like this provocative image of herself, like as a Nicki Minaj, or no, I think like Little Kim, you know, and she paints that. And one of the principals, either she's a principal or a teacher, but Miss Racoletta Moss, she talks in third person all the time. Racoletta Moss does not do this, but she has a talk with Nola about sparing the children's feelings, and then she ends up telling a story of her own life and how she grew up in terrible conditions and had a cracked mother and all of this stuff. And I'm probably sure I'm not trying to laugh, but the stories are just the same. And, you know, she speaks with such affirmation because she is trying to basically, like, say to the world, okay, yeah, like, that was the old me, but this the new me, you know, like, this is what I'm here for. I'm here, I have a purpose. And she says something like, work the hustle, never let the hustle work you. Okay? And I was like, okay, cool. You know, there's little things throughout the series that is definitely a hit. Oh, so Nola, she buys this black dress. I know I'm like jumping all over the place because the story is kind of all over the place, but she buys this like black dress to, you know, feel herself. I think that's what her therapist told her to do. Like, you know, go get cute, like do something that makes you feel good. Buys this $500 black dress, and she goes out on this really nice date with Jamie. Problem number one with this black dress, he's trying to cover her up and stuff and all of that, and then they go home and he said something like, you can't expect me. I don't know word from word what he said, but basically it was to imply that you can't expect me to like want to get with you while you wearing this dress. And she just had an assault, you know what I'm saying? So she's overly sensitive about herself and about her womanism, you know, her feminine energy, okay? So that kind of sets her off. Next day, she goes on a date with, I don't know the order of this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, so please don't hate me. But I just want to talk about it because it's so interesting. So she goes on a date with Mars, and she has the same black dress on, but she like dressed it differently. Like at first she wore heels because they went to like a dinner to fit Jamie, and now with Mars, because she knows they about to like go to a club or something, she got on gym shoes and this little jean jacket, and it's cute. Like she dresses it up really nice. And he said something about the dress. I mean, you know, you wearing this dress is kind of like, you know. And then she gets mad about that, and then she goes to see Greer with this dress on, and he's trying to take pictures and stuff, and he's making her feel uncomfortable and everything. So it's like she just constantly has this issue with men and being able to feel herself and being able to be a woman without being sexualized or subjected as just a sexual being. After that, she decides to go on a guy cleanse, and she's like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this. I'm done. I need to just get away for a month. And that's when I was like, okay, cool. I feel that because I've done that. Been like, you know, I'm not gonna talk to nobody. I'm gonna be on my own stuff. But plot twist, she's not done with the sexual encounter, and oops, here comes Opal, a woman from the past, and now this is her boo. But Opal, you know, she's grown, she's mature, she has a daughter, and she's, you know, Nola is just not for this commitment thing, you know. And Opal is like, you know, I rock with you, but you're not about to waste my time. You know, you're not about to come in and out of my life because, you know, you having man problems. So their relationship is over, and she's back onto this 3-man train. It's crazy because no matter what she says to these guys, even the woman, no matter what she does, they always come back. Like they will always be right there with her, and they trying to wife, and they trying to be with her. And she really making me mad because I swear if I had okay, I'll digress. But yeah, so ultimately, the moral of the story, she realizes that all of these men just have something that she needed. You know, maybe they didn't need to be together. She didn't need to be with them. They're not necessarily her type, but they each gave her different things of how to be a better her. So she has this Thanksgiving dinner, okay? And this had me gone. Like, I was like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. She makes a meal. She sets up the, the table and everything. And in my head, I was like, oh, I know she's not inviting all of these men. Oh, that's not going to happen. It's going to be like a plot twist or something. And she's just going to have her girls there because she has friends. There's little sub stories within this story that I'm gonna go back to, but I'm gonna just keep going with Nola. Yeah, I'm like, she's just gonna invite all her friends. Like, they gonna all come together and be like, you know what, forget all of this stuff, forget the guys, forget this outer world, and we gonna bond. That's what I was hoping for the ending, but no. One by one, each of her niggas come through for Thanksgiving dinner, and they all sitting at a table. Y'all, when I tell you, my mouth was wide open, like, this girl Nola is the absolute GOAT, for real. I would never. And they's chilling too. Like, they all confused and, they fell away, but they stayed though, like, you can't say, can't none of them say, like, oh, I'm not doing this. They was there, and basically she just introduced all of them and say, yeah, you guys wanted to know who the other men were. Well, here they are. I'm sorry. My house makes the weirdest noises. Like, I'm by myself, so there shouldn't even be noises, okay? That's very strange. But anyway, and then the last scene, they all end up dancing to Prince all together, grooving and stuff, and then they fall asleep in Nola's bed, all three of them, and they have this little, like, definition of what the itis is. Y'all know what the itis is, so I'm not even about to talk about it, but that's why they fell asleep, and then one by one they leave. Like, stuff like that. And then basically it's over, But the reason I thought that her girls were going to be in it, because backtrack, one of her friends, Shemeka, I think that's her name. She works at a nightclub as a dancer. But, she's normally on bottle service, but she wanted to be up there dancing. But she doesn't have the body as everybody else. So basically, she ends up getting these butt shots, and it's in this back alley type of, situation. So she, she nice and thick, like nice and curvy, looking like Nicki Minaj type of thing. And she has her performance, and first of all, I'm not gonna lie, she was kind of sucking, but everybody was hyping her up. Whatever. Her body didn't even look real, but I feel like that is just direction, like the director's cut and all of that type of stuff. But, everybody's hyping her up and everything, and, she's getting it, and then she falls, I guess, and her butt explodes. Like, I'm talking about juices everywhere, y'all. And she's screaming. I know she was in pain. I know that had to hurt. But she ended up in a hospital, and she had an infection in her blood because it was, these needles, that's this back alley type of thing, So she was on her deathbed. She ended up getting better, y'all. Nobody dies within this film. But, she ends up getting better, but I guess it's the lesson that women, they feel the need to alter their bodies, and they feel the need to look like, other women that alter their bodies, to feel good or to feel wanted, and, instead of being their self. And then you have Nola's other friend, I can't remember her name, but she's with this older guy, and she used to date Mars and stuff, so there's kind of like a little conflict between her and Nola in that aspect. But Yeah, basically. So I mean, in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, she gonna bring all her friends back together, type stuff. At the end, so they can live happily and be like, yeah, we don't need none of this stuff. Okay, that's what I would have liked. Okay, if you have feminism, let's stick to it. But the men altogether, that was interesting too. There was also another situation that of course had to involve like police and involve like this stereotyping type of, you know, situation. There's the guy who, he doesn't like to call himself homeless, but he is, and everyone loves him except for this white lady, and she accused him of painting on her stoop and defacing property, I guess. So she calls the police, you know, they get into this argument, and she already had a problem with just the fact that he exists, okay? Like, he doesn't do anything but make art, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he does, and he walks around, and everybody loves him, but this lady. So she calls the cops on him, and they come out and they're asking him for ID, and they're like, dude, like, why would he have ID? Like, he's homeless, you know, so he doesn't have it. And then he's trying to take him, and then Nola's like, no, take me, like, because it's sad, you know, like, this man, like, he doesn't have anything, you know, he doesn't have anybody, so for him to just get arrested for doing nothing, it was pretty upsetting. And then Nola, you know, goes with him, and, you know, that's what happens, and they end up going to jail. Of course, they get bailed out. And, you know, it doesn't, not everything, it's like there's always a problem and then an instant resolution, you know, it's this fairy tale of things always getting better regardless of the circumstances. I mean, I understand the point of it is to, like, throw it in there to be realistic, I guess, and to show that this is what happens. But in real life, you know, you don't always get passes like that, you know, like, something happens, some white lady, I'm not trying to be funny, but some white lady calls the cops on you because you're disturbing or defacing property, you can get killed as, like, a minority, you know, instantly, especially if you homeless, you know, you don't have money, they don't care about you. So it was like, I feel you, Spike, but I guess the fairy tale of that everything is gonna be okay is cool too. Overall, the series is very interesting. If you still want to watch it, I know that I discussed it and I talked about everything that happens, but this is for people really who have seen it already and wanted to discuss it too. So you can comment below. Give me some more suggestions of movies or series on Netflix that you want me to watch, and then I'll talk about those as well. This was fun. I'm gonna probably do this more often because I've been watching a lot of stuff on Netflix and I'll be wanting to talk about it. So let me know, comment, like, and subscribe.